So what is it with you, my phony friend? Are you good or are you evil? You've got thousands of different applications, but your masts are an eyesore. And your battery goes flat. This week on Click, we look at the cost of upgrading our world to the latest technology and how some aren't prepared to pay for it. And we visit the programmers that are writing the new mobile applications. Apparently it's the new rock and roll, you know. Plus, we'll be grabbing some power on the move. We've got the latest tech news and the pick of Kate's favourites folder. Welcome to Click. I'm Spencer Kelly. At this time of global recession, it is still one of the most buoyant markets in the world. In fact, some say it is the future of the world. I'm talking about the mobile phone. It's revolutionised our lives, and it's not stopping anytime soon. But what price progress? For example, where do you put the infrastructure that makes the mobile phones work? And who decides? Well, they're having precisely that argument in France right now, as David Reed found out.
The modern world is full of hazards. Pollution, pesticides, high-speed traffic. Stress about them has become a way of life. Added to those are the other things: coffee, red wine, eggs, and now mobile phone masts that may well be bad for us if only scientists would agree with each other for long enough to let them. And phone masts are at the centre of a storm in France, where courts have already ordered a number to be moved after those living near them voiced their health concerns. It's now open season on antennae, and spurred on by legal victories elsewhere, locals in Brenda, southeastern France, are voicing their concerns after a base station shot up right in the middle of the village's schools.
Je pense que sur Brenda, il ne pouvait pas y avoir un autre lieu où elle était plus mal placée.
I think there isn't a worse position in the whole of Brindas to put this mast. It's less than 100 metres from the kindergarten, primary school and playground, 200 metres from the village and 300 metres from the local college. We are in a village which is outside Lyon, and we have fields and space. It is not worth sticking the mast right next to the school when children are more susceptible than the rest of the population.
Que la population.
So what evidence is there that mobile phone masts are bad for the health? Well, opinions on this are very divided. Campaigners cite the Bio-Initiative report, which came out earlier this year, in which some leading experts urged authorities to limit the power of base stations, after concluding that the radio waves they emit could lead to health problems, especially in children. There are also instances of individuals who show signs of being particularly sensitive to electromagnetic fields.
Now we have objective tests which shows that there is some functional abnormalities in the brain. We suspect that the symptoms that the patients have, we suspect that it's causally linked with the electromagnetic fields.
But apart from this hypersensitivity, health warnings about phone masts might well themselves come with a health warning. There are no shortage of scientists, including the World Health Organization, who say research into electromagnetic fields has revealed no major public health risk.
From a scientific point of view, all of the health authorities share the same opinion. The World Health Organization has indicated very clearly that there's no link between the illnesses these people suffer from and the presence of mobile phone masts or electromagnetic waves.
I've just counted 13 mobile phone antennas on this gymnasium, which just goes to show how important it is for us to decide how to act when the scientists don't agree. Now, the mobile phone operators are in a difficult position because it's very difficult to prove a negative, that these are not unsafe, which is why the French courts and campaigners are tending to err on the side of caution. They say that in public health issues, it is better to act now on an unproven risk than wait until there is no doubt and it is too late.
Les opérateurs de téléphonie, comme le gouvernement, ne sont pas arrivés.
The telephone operators and the government have not managed to demonstrate to us that there is no danger to children and people living around the masts. We don't want to live in doubt for 10 years and then our children or the people living here develop illnesses.
Les habitants de Brinda puissent développer des maladies.
The question of where best to situate base stations and at what power they should operate at may never be definitively settled by science. In the end, the whole issue may only be settled by what started the problem in the first place, the need to talk.
It's an age-old argument, putting up with the trappings of technology or not, as the case may be. Your thoughts, please. Would you care if there was a phone mast or, say, a Wi-Fi hotspot nearby? Or can't you be bothered? And if you do care, would you be prepared to give up wireless communications altogether? Click at bbc.co.uk, you know it makes sense. Now, time to look at the latest tech news from around the world. Microsoft's answer to YouTube isn't the answer, apparently. After 3 years, its user-generated video sharing site Soapbox is being scrapped. It merged with MSN Video last year, but even that hasn't been enough to save it from a lack of interest. Microsoft says it's committed to supporting user-generated video and will enhance the MSN Video service soon. Wasn't that what Soapbox was supposed to do? After losing out to Sony in the HD format war, then telling us we didn't actually need HD, we just needed to upscale our current DVD collection to get great pictures, Toshiba is to start making its own Blu-ray devices by the end of the year. Analysts say the final bend in this U-turn, I guess that would make it an S-turn, was made because there's just too much money in the home theatre market for Tosh to ignore the new format. And the rise of the USB stick has reached a new level, or more accurately, capacity, with the release of the 256 gigabyte flash drive. Now that's the equivalent of 54 DVDs or 10 Blu-ray discs. Manufacturer Kingston Technology says it will build the sticks to order, charging over $900 a piece. Just don't leave it on the train, whatever you do. OK, we've talked about mobile phone masts. Now let's talk about mobile phone power. It's happened to all of us, I'm sure. We're in the middle of an important phone call. Suddenly, the phone hangs up on our behalf because the battery's run out. And in fact, it doesn't have to be the phone. It can be the music player, the laptop, or even the digital camera. Well, we've shown you in the past on Click a few devices which will get you out of that hole, mainly involving a couple of small batteries that you buy from a shop that you plug in, and these devices will suck the power from those batteries into your device's batteries. Problem is, a few of us have got those gadgets lying around and the batteries that go along with them are rolling around dead in the bottom of our bag. Well, here are a couple of devices which should give you access to a source of power that won't run out anytime soon, not for the next 5 billion years by all accounts. They're solar chargers. This is called a solar gorilla. As you can see, it's quite weighty. It will power anything from a really small device to apparently a reasonably sized laptop. Got one in the back there. And you notice it's not switched on because you can't power the device from this. You can only charge it. It's called trickle charging and it takes several hours to put any amount of power into that. This also won't work at night. I know that sounds obvious, but some solar devices come with a built-in battery, so you can charge that battery in the day and charge your devices at night. You can't with this. You can with this. This is called a freeloader. Unclip it and reclip it. There are your two solar cells. Press the button in the middle and the little light will show you how fully charged the little battery is. And also importantly, you don't have to charge this from the sun. If you have the right lead, you can plug this into the mains supply and actually charge the device from there. You can also charge it from your laptop. Now, any universal charger like this comes with a veritable selection of adapters. You can plug it into pretty much any device. In fact, there are more adapters there than I think I've ever seen devices. And as well as that, this device comes with something else which is quite interesting. You remember I said that your digital camera can run out of power? This is a little add-on which will charge your digital camera battery. And again, it's a universal charger. It comes with some lights here to tell you how full the battery is and warn you if the polarity is wrong. And if I just unplug this and take the battery out, it is rather fiddly, I have to say. You can see that these prongs, which connect to the two terminals on the battery, can be moved by these switches at the back. That's how you can make it fit many different types of battery. Now at this point I am slightly worried, because as soon as you're putting control of getting the metal in the right place to touch the metal of the battery, I suspect things can go slightly wrong if you're not careful. And the truth is that modern camera batteries are actually quite intelligent. They've got some circuitry inside, and who knows what would happen if you put the wrong metal on the wrong metal. As I say, it's a bit like refilling your own printer ink cartridges. The manufacturers say don't do it, buy a new one, and I'm sure the manufacturers of these batteries will say don't do it, use our own charger. We can't guarantee what will happen if you spark up the wrong thing in this. Welcome back. So a couple of weeks ago we talked about the explosion in mobile applications and mobile app stores. And although there was a time when the title mobile apps developer would earn you precisely no friends at a party, today's mobile apps developers are just as likely to have wallets stuffed with cash and their own fan followings. Go figure. Ian Hardy's been catching up with the new wunderkinds of the programming world.
This could be my last ever TV piece. My new job title: Millionaire Phone App Developer. I've just got to download the SDK, that's a software development kit, from this website, and then, anybody know what a nib file is? This guy does. Mac novice Rob Murray wrote the basic code for a little game called Flight Control in just days, and completed it within 2 months with a little help from graphic artists. He's now $1 million richer, and it helped that the financial and legal obstacles of traditional global gaming distribution were non-existent.
So Apple takes care of all the complications in currency transfers, laws and different requirements there, ratings requirements, actual distribution to the user across all the countries, internationally, and something we don't have to do ourselves, and it's a huge job.
Most mobile games are sold for between $1 and $10, much cheaper than PSP and DS games, for example.
I think that the iPhone certainly is beginning to kind of dominate, mind share, and just ease of getting software. It's very easy for anybody to go download something from the App Store. So, I mean, if I'm Nintendo, and especially if I'm Sony, I'm probably concerned about, about the inroads that Apple's making into this marketplace.
Okay, back to my mobile app. It's going to revolutionize the way that we get items shipped from the internet to us. You'll see in a couple of minutes. But meanwhile, a lot of other mobile platforms are coming around to Apple's way of thinking. Just recently, Palm and Symbian both released public SDKs for their phones too. But more devices mean more headaches for a company like music streaming service Pandora. It has 7 different app programs that replicate the same experience on any given phone.
The fact that there's 3 different iPhone devices floating out there makes it easier to develop for the iPhone than, say, for the BlackBerry, where there's 6 or 8 different devices and device configurations, different screen sizes, different keyboard types, and so on. Touchscreen, not touchscreen. And then you go to the phones where you get the operating system from one vendor and you get the hardware from another, so like a Windows Mobile or an Android. And those bring even a greater set of developer challenges, because you've got to deal not only with implementing for the platforms, but also for the idiosyncrasies.
The iPhone has ignited developer interest where it didn't exist before. There's now even a free online course available from Stanford University on how to build apps.
Welcome again to Lecture 4 of CS193P. So here we go, building an application.
But how long app development remains a good bet for the stay-at-home software geek is uncertain. Big companies have begun pouring serious dollars into their app development departments with marketing budgets to match.
So even though I'm away from the hospital, I can still look at this real-time waveform data just as if I were at the patient's bedside.
The medical field has been building laptop and mobile apps for years, but the new platforms are yet another opportunity.
We actually built our business off of some technology starting 4 or 5 years ago, so we had to actually make our applications work extremely well over very slow cell phone connections and some kludgy platforms. With the iPhone, this just allows us to bring a wealth of information and data with waveforms, images, to allow a physician to be connected so fast and on demand and to really be there from anywhere.
App stores will proliferate and fast. Companies realise that once customers have a collection of apps they love, it'll be more difficult to move phones and especially carriers. The Android platform may ultimately shake up the industry again, far more than even Apple has.
I think that the model of openness and sort of the licensing approach where anybody can take it and put it on their device and ship it without really any monetary exchange with Google is fantastic for the industry.
Okay, finished. My new shipping app. All I have to do is choose my products and then simply press and... Wow, my super fast shipping method actually works. Oh, except I don't seem to have included the product. It's just empty cardboard boxes. Oh, maybe that's what the nib file was for.
Ian Hardy and the latest breed of mobile app writers. OK, next up with her selection of websites for mobiles, not so mobiles and things bolted to the floor by half a tonne of concrete, here's Kate.
With so many devices on which you can store and play multimedia files, it can be difficult trying to keep everything organised. Software like iTunes has great functionality, but it only works with an iPod. If only there was a package that would work with all of my mobile devices.
At doubletwist.com, you'll find precisely that. The first step is to download and install the software, which does take quite a bit of time, so have a cup of tea at the ready. Once installed, this natty little app will let you store, organise and sync to most major devices like a BlackBerry, iPod or other MP3 player, multimedia phone and even a Sony PSP. Just plug the device in and Double Twist automatically recognises it, allowing you to then select your syncing options or even to send files directly to your friends and family with just a few clicks of the mouse. They've also recently added support for YouTube and Flickr, making uploading and downloading from those popular sites a breeze. Now, this software is in public beta at the moment, but the creators assure me that the standard features will remain free even after the beta period has closed. They say they'll be adding some premium features similar to the Skype model, so watch this space for more information about those when they're ready. Altogether, a very useful program that is extremely easy to use and at a price point I simply love. That'd be free.
In these times of economic uncertainty, people all over the world are looking for ways to bring in a little more cash. If you have room in your home to offer lodgings to a traveller or are travelling yourself and don't want to splash out for an expensive hotel, iStopOver.com could be just what you're looking for.
The idea is if you have a room in your home that would be suitable to rent out to holidaymakers, backpackers or even business travellers, you register and use the interface to set your rates and availability. If someone is interested in booking your room, you get to negotiate and make arrangements with them through the site, so you can be completely happy about who you invite to stay. From the traveller's point of view, this provides a really cheap alternative for bed and breakfast options, with the security of paying for your accommodation through the website. This fee isn't released to your hosts until the visit is over. For this service, the site does take a 9% fee, which is subtracted from the payment before it's transferred. Registration is free for both hosts and guests, so it won't cost you anything until you start making money.
If you're anything like me, you'll have numerous email addresses. Whether they're for work or personal use, keeping on top of them can be an arduous task, or at least it was before I got a handle.
myhandle.com is the URL you'll need to set up a one-stop email address that famous comedian Stephen Fry has described as damned clever. After registering a handle, you need to sync it up with your email account and invite people to join your MyHandle network, and the website will send them an email. Edit your profile to add new email, postal addresses and telephone numbers, and then sort your contacts into categories such as friends, family, work or whatever, and decide on the forwarding address you want that grid to go to. Now, this is not an email account like Gmail or Hotmail. It's a simple forwarding service, and even if you don't have a contact in your network, their mail will still be forwarded to you. The benefit is that you have one simple address or handle to remember, and no matter how many times you move or change email, as long as you keep your profile updated, anything you receive will be forwarded straight on to you.
And there I have to leave you, I'm afraid. As ever, there are links to all of the content explored today on our website, which Spencer will be directing you to shortly.
Thank you, Kate. And those directions are thus: 1. Switch your computer on. Oh, it is already. 2. Fire up your web browser. 3. Type bbc.co.uk/click. 4. Press go or enter. All our worldly goods are there, including a video of the entire show for the particularly hardy to watch us again in all our pouting majesty. Get in touch. Email click@bbc.co.uk. We really do want to hear from you. No, really. Look forward to your emails. Thanks for watching. See you next time.